Julius Caesar's report of the Druids, a 31 Pearls production. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment.
An account of the Continental Druids by Julius Caesar. An excerpt from the Barddas of Iolo Morganwg. Edited by J. Williams of Ethel. A note by 31 Pearls. The following are the words of Julius Caesar concerning the Druids of the British Isles, also known as the 10 Islands, and of Gaul, which is now currently France. Julius Caesar was wary of the Druids, as their influence had grown and was beginning to affect the Roman Empire. This report may be biased due to his unfavorable view of the Druids. The letter reads as follows. They preside over sacred things, have the charge of public and private sacrifices, and explain their religion. To them, a great number of youths have recourse for the sake of acquiring instruction, and they are in great honor among them. For they generally settle all their disputes, both public and private. And if there is any transgression perpetrated, any murder committed, or any dispute about inheritance or boundaries, they decide in respect of them. They appoint rewards and penalties. And if any private or public person abides not by their decree, they restrain him from the sacrifices. This, with them, is the most severe punishment. Whoever are so interdicted are ranked in the number of the impious and wicked. All forsake them and shun their company and conversation, lest they should suffer disadvantage from contagion with them. Nor is legal right rendered to them when they sue it, nor any honor conferred upon them. But one presides over all these Druids, who possesses the supreme authority among them. At his death, if any one of the others excels in dignity, the same succeeds him. But if several have equal pretensions, the president is elected by the votes of the Druids. Sometimes even they contend about the supreme dignity by force of arms. At a certain time of the year, they assemble in session on a consecrated spot in the confines of the Carnutes, which is considered the central region of the whole of Gaul. Thither all, who have any disputes, come together from every side, and acquiesce in their judgments and decisions. The institution is thought to have originated in Britain, and to have been thence introduced into Gaul. And even now, those who wish to become more accurately acquainted with it generally repair thither for the sake of learning it. The Druids usually abstain from war, nor do they pay taxes together with the others. They have exemption from warfare and the free use of all things. Instigated by such advantages, many resort to their school even of their own accord, whilst others are sent by their parents and relations. There, they are said to learn thoroughly a great number of verses. On that account, some continue at their education for 20 years. Nor do they deem it lawful to commit those things to writing, though, generally, in other cases, and in their public and private accounts, they use Greek letters. They appear to me to have established this custom for two reasons: because they would not have their tenets published, and because they would not have those who learn them by trusting to letters neglect the exercise of memory. Since it generally happens that, owing to the safeguard of letters, they relax their diligence in learning as well as their memory. In particular, they wish to inculcate this idea: that souls do not die, but pass after death from one body to another. And they think that by this means, men are very much instigated to the exercise of bravery, the fear of death being despised. They also dispute largely concerning the stars and their motion, the magnitude of the world and the earth, the nature of things, the force and power of the immortal gods, and instruct the youth in their principles. The whole nation of the Gauls is very much given to religious observances, and on that account, those who are afflicted with grievous diseases, and those who are engaged in battles and perils, either immolate men as sacrifices or vow that they will immolate themselves. And they employ the Druids as ministers of those sacrifices. because they think that, if the life of man is not given for the life of man, the immortal gods cannot be appeased. They have also instituted public sacrifices of the same kind. Some have images of immense size, the limbs of which, interwoven with twigs, they fill with living men, and the same being set on fire. The men, surrounded by the flames, are put to death. They think that the punishment of those who are caught in theft, or pillage, or in any other wicked act, is more acceptable to the immortal gods. But when there is a deficiency of such evildoers, they have recourse even to the punishment of the innocent. They chiefly worship the god Mercury. Of him they have many images. Him they consider as the inventor of all arts, as the guide of ways and journeys, and as possessing the greatest power for obtaining money and merchandise. After him, they worship Apollo, Mars, Jupiter, and Minerva. Concerning them, they have almost the same opinion as other nations, namely, that Apollo wards off diseases, that Minerva instructs them in the principles of works and arts, that Jupiter holds the empire of heaven, and that Mars rules wars. To him, when they have determined to engage in battle, they generally vow those things which they shall have captured in war. When they are victorious, they sacrifice the captured animals and pile up the other things in one place. The Gauls declare that they have all sprung from their father Pluto, and this, they say, was delivered to them by the Druids.